CPDM Secretary General Jean Kwete arrived in Boya for a workshop on how to better prepare the ruling party for the 2025 general elections. He is coming to the southwest region after he has been to the town of Yaoundé, Betua and Ebolowa for a similar exercise. But how can this visit of Jean Kwete rekindle hope and bring reconciliation across the disgruntled sections of the CPDM party in the southwest region? High Prime Newscast attempts some answers. Plus, Southwest Regional Delegate of Mines, Industry and Technological Development, Mefugo Mitute, steps in with government resolve in order to resolve the strike action that Southwest truck drivers embarked on due to way bills by the said government. Those were our top stories. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening to you all. You are welcome to High Prime of Thursday, the 26th of October 2023. We start head on with one of our lead stories where the Secretary General of the Cameroon's People's Democratic Movement Party, the CPDM, Jean Kwete, has concluded his one-day work visit to the southwest region, where he held a workshop with the party's heavyweights in the region. The seminar that took place at Nasla's campus was an avenue where the different militants, sympathizers of the party were educated on the best practices and way in which they can change the political landscape of the country through an electoral process. Facilitators after facilitators of the set different central committee members who all gave elaborate lectures on how party militants and sympathizers should forge ahead with the good virtues of the CPDM political party. Moving on to something else, Southwest inhabitants have been sensitized on the implementation of way bills in the region. Recommendations were made at a press conference that took place in Limbe last Tuesday, the 24th of October, that was organized by the regional delegates of Mines, Industry and Technological Development for the Southwest region. Alice LIKIE attended that press conference and a report from Limbe.
Following the strike action carried out by truck drivers in the southwest region some months back due to the implementation of secured way bills that was inscribed in the 2023 financial law, a press conference to let the public know the recommendations arrived at as far as the above is concerned has taken place in Limbe, chaired by the Southwest Regional Delegate of Mines, Industry and Technological Development.
For this press conference is to make the local man to be aware of the decisions that were taken or arrived at with both the truck drivers union of the southwest region and the quarry operators of the southwest region. That's the reason why we call this press conference. First, the both parties acknowledge that the secure way bill is a state policy that has that was enshrined in the Finance Law 2023, and that each truck driver that carries quarry material must be able to use the secure way bill when they move from one point to the other, from the quarry to their point of delivery, and that the cost of this way bill is 5,000 francs, and drivers are only authorized to carry quarry materials or to buy quarry materials from legalized quarries. So that's the reason for this press conference.
The press conference was attended by truck drivers and quarry operators in the southwest region, who after a series of meetings came up during this press conference with the following recommendations.
See, with what we have concluded today, I'm impressed. Following 2 months of worries, and I want to make the population to understand that we initially were not against the secured way bills. Our worries were who to pay and why should, if we were to pay, how do we pay when we are not those exploited? So we had, this is the 3rd meeting and a conclusive one. We all had some brainstorming, and finally, following the meetings held between the regional delegation, the drivers and the quarry operators, I'm proud to say that I'm satisfied, because now we have been made to know that for every quarry that we go, you just need to pay for your materials and the secure way bills will be issued to you free of charge.
We have gone into several meetings with the delegate, with the administration, and I'm happy that we are happy that today we have come to a solution.
Local population or the consumer should now note that the prices of quarry products have not been increased except that of seawater.
Now let's take a listen to the Southwest Regional Delegate of Mines, Industry and Technological Development for the region, Silas Mifugu Mutote.
Of way bill begins for industrial quarries, it begins at the entrance of the quarry, where you are going to have state agents, matriculated state agents, not contract workers, matriculated state agents who are going to be at the entrance of every quarry. At that entrance, they are not collecting money from you. What they do is, as you go in the quarry post, he is going to have an electronic gadget that is going to use to scan the way bill. He will scan the way bill and he will tear the way bill, which means that way bill has been consumed. But for now, while we are waiting for our electronic devices to get at our disposal, they are going to have visa stamps. Okay, the purpose of this press conference is to be able to sensitize the local population on the implementation of way bill, secured way bill, that was inscribed in the 2023 finance law. We are all vested with the fact that the truck drivers were on strike sometime in August, September because of this implementation of way bill. The reason for this press conference is to make the local man to be aware of the decisions that were taken or arrived at with both the truck drivers union of the Southwest region and the quarry operators of the Southwest region. That's the reason why we call this press conference. The way forward after this meeting is that immediately as we finish this meeting, we are going to generate way booklets using the government portal, the platform, the finance portal, and distribute this way bill to the field for effective implementation. That is to say, truck drivers will now have access to this way bill if and only if they buy quarry products from authorized quarries, because only authorized quarries will be able to have access to this way bill. Concerning the ball of contention, who to pay the way bill, as from the meetings that we have gotten with both truck drivers and quarry operators, the quarry operators will pay this way bill. They will pay this 5,000. They will made it in such a way that they will pay, but the price of the material will not increase. That's to say, the local man will not suffer because of this increment of this.
That was Southwest Regional Delegate of Mines, Industry and Technological Development, Silas Mitungo Mutale, speaking there to us via Alice LIKIE IKOMI. We move over to economic reporting now, where exit farm prices in the prices of chicken and eggs in Cameroon have been harmonized by the government in order to combat market prices speculations. This comes after Minister of Trade Luma Gwambaraga Atangana held a meeting alongside with actors in the poultry sector of the country in order to make sure the price hike in the prices of chickens and eggs that have been an increase for the past days now are being put to the abbey. Staff lady Cynthia Lato tells us now.
In a correspondence addressed to breeders of broilers and laying hens, the president of the Cameroon Poultry Interprofessional Association, PAVIC, announces that the price of a chicken leaving the breeding farm will be harmonized at 2,300 francs CFA for a weight between 1.8 and 2.0 kilograms. Meanwhile, the price of 30 eggs in a tray will now vary between 1,900 francs and 2,100 francs CFA, depending on the size of the product. These prices, according to the publication on Monday, October 23, 2023, will be adjusted depending on fluctuations in the cost of raw materials. The price of 2,300 francs CFA was reportedly arrived at in a consensus with the producers and only concerns farm exit chickens.
Energy, you have no industry. Without energy, you have no life. So energy is important. It's the basis of any activity. So we need to put energy and producing both together and processing to export. But we produce also for internal consumption. Really our need is to improve local processing in order to put add value to our products.
The prices set by PAVIC do not apply for the general public due to the numerous activities that take place between the farm and the market for the final consumers. The prices of chicken and eggs have recently soared on the Cameroonian markets. Before August 2023, a 2-kilogram chicken sold at 4,000 to 4,500 francs CFA in some towns, compared to 3,000 before this period. Meanwhile, for several months now, the price of an egg have increased in the market by more than 25 francs. PAVIC's decision to regulate prices follows a correspondence dated October 19, 2023 from the Ministry of Commerce, summoning poultry farmers to take the necessary measures which must materialize by a significant drop in the prices of chicken and eggs.
From the economy, we now move over to art and culture. The art and craft industry in Cameroon, though not largely recognized by many as a means of employment, some young people across the country seize opportunity in this yet to be explored field in the country. Rita Mafani Mujoko had a session of craft work with one of the craft artists who talked her through on how to come up with fine art in this report done for us by Rita Mafani Mujoko.
Promoting women's sense of self-worth, their ability to determine choices and rights to influence social change for themselves and others is a pivotal issue. Despite the resources available, they are insufficient and are often limited to ensure that these women are empowered. Hence, women's individual and collective ability to recognize and utilize resources in their own interest is what Priscilla Njong, a graduate from the University of Boyer, has taken upon herself to recycle old bags, shoes, earrings and others to promote culture.
As a young girl, I've always had this love and admiration for the African culture. So I've always dreamed of how I feel like I could promote this, because I feel like the African culture have been neglected. We've been neglecting it, then dwelling on the Chinese culture. And youth of Cameroon and youth of Africa, we tend to admire these brands, which is the Chinese brands, and dwell in it, forgetting that that's their own culture they are promoting. Now, why can't we promote our own? So I feel like since the Ankara fabrics represent the African culture, I feel like I could promote it by using these same fabrics to do the same things that the Chinese does, so that creating shoes, bags, earrings, to make it a distinction from what the Chinese produce, so I can also do the same thing. So I tend to use this brand to promote culture there by using the Ankara fabric as a medium of promoting the African culture and Cameroon culture most especially.
As a means to mitigate poverty and empowering other women, Priscilla turns worn-out bags with the use of Ankara material to design, style and produce Ankara designs.
If you look around today, for instance, this was a Chinese-made bag. For instance, the Chinese leather and everything. And I'm going to show you a sample of an already transformed bag to the Ankara fabric. I know for sure the Ankara looks beautiful than the Chinese produce. Looking at the society today, in my milieu, most girls are so reliant not just to their parents but also to their love partners, because they lack a source of income. And if they could come together and get themselves empowered, that in case their parents pass on, they have a source of income that can stand as a survival to them.
The law for attitude, culture, and self-employment is at the forefront of these creative initiatives. Having taught over more than 10 badges on Ankara designs and transformation, Lambo is slowly creating a means of self-employment.
In these 3 months, I've gathered a lot, which I can even stop him now. stopping now, I had so much experience that at least I can do some certain things on my own and sell in the market.
It is worth noting that Lambo has created a niche for herself and sees gold in worn-out bags, shoes, and brings out the beauty of the African culture through her designs.
You are watching High Prime, and we are coming to you live from our main studio here in High Television. We now move over to health news now. Let's now talk about the fight against poliomyelitis. Despite being declared polio-free, Cameroon and the public health officials are yet to stop the fight against the disease. According to Dr. Oben Pamela, the coordinator for the poliomyelitis expanded immunization program for the Southwest Regional Delegation of Public Health, the fight has now turned to the circulation of vaccine delivered by the different health practitioners across the several communities that constitute the Southwest region, so as to mitigate the spread of the said poliomyelitis disease. Let's take a listen to Dr. Oben Pamela on the fight against poliomyelitis in the Southwest region, done for us by Boris Sono.
Polio is a very contagious disease and a disease that is easily transmissible. Usually attacks children. It could also attack adults, but mostly children who are aged 0 to 5 years. And in some of these children, in about 1% of these children or even less, we can have a paralysis. And this paralysis could be of the limbs, could also be of the brain, could even be of the lungs, and this is where we have serious consequences resulting from polio. Polio can be transmitted. It is termed an oral fecal disease because it is transmitted through feces, contaminated feces, and when this feces gets into water, it gets into food and it is consumed by a human. They are now that is Cameroon obtains the title of polio-free or free of the wild polio virus in the year 2020. But since then, we are free of the wild polio type virus, but there are also other polio viruses like the circulating virus. So there is also the circulating vaccine-derived polio virus, which consists a threat in public health and which the country is currently suffering from. Just recently in June 2023 in Yaoundé, 3 environmental cases were detected, and this called for a response to the virus. We could see that during the previous round for the polio response campaign, we had over 94% coverage, and this was actually an excellent performance and revealed to us that the population massively adhered to this particular intervention. We are hoping that during the second round we would even perform better, that we would have 100%. From the results we got, the feedback we got from the field, homes opened their doors to the population. We had very few hesitant cases, and all of these cases, or most of them, were managed. This again shows that the population greatly accepts polio vaccination. Our vaccination campaigns include, and at the region where we have advocacy right from the governor's office and other major stakeholders, at the district, at the health area levels, they also have advocacy meetings where they discuss the various activities and the interventions that will take place, and together are implicated, take engagements at the countries, which are the common strategies we've been carrying out in previous campaigns. Our actors will also be dressed wearing vaccination aprons that show that they are vaccinators, properly identified to prevent any incidents from happening on the field. Vaccine hesitancy usually comes up when the population is not properly informed or not aware. So we have social mobilization tools, we have flyers, we have banners. We are using all platforms for communication. We're going to be using digital communication mobilizers who are going to be on media platforms informing the population about this activity. We're also going to be using social mobilizers who are going to go door to door informing the population about this very important vaccination intervention. And in churches, prior to the descent, we're going to have letters distributed to all the churches, all the mosques, and even in marketplaces, the mobilizers would visit prior to the vaccination team descending. Polio is a very, very disturbing disease which leaves our children in disability. Polio vaccines are effective to prevent polio and also to prevent the sequelae and the burden associated with this disease. So it's important for us to vaccinate our children to have a World Polio Cameroon, and in this case the Southwest region free of the polio virus. So let's open its importance to vaccinate our children in routine by respecting the vaccination calendar.
That was Dr. Pamela AYUK, the coordinator of the poliomyelitis campaign in the Southwest region. Let's move away from health. We talk on the environment, or we talk on the situation on empowering women and youth. This time around with the Dennis and Lorena Foundation, last Wednesday organized a two-day workshop to empower women and youth in the Southwest region under the Small Business and Entrepreneurial Center program of the said organization known as SBEC in the town of Buea. The workshop is geared towards making sure women and youth are empowered in the economic and property sector. As Sonitango News are through that workshop and our reports.
With the so many challenges faced by small and medium-sized enterprises in Cameroon, the Dennis and Lenora Ferretia Foundation, under the Small Business and Entrepreneurship Center, SBEC, has held a two-day Powering Prosperity and Economic Freedom for Women and Youth workshop in Buea on October 25th, 2023. The 6-month business management training flagship workshop is aimed at empowering women and youth.
We are here to actually fortify them for the business world, to make them able to stand out in their different businesses. What do you do? Anything business, poultry, agriculture, everything. We're here to support you. And at the end of this training, we expect all the trainees should actually have a level of understanding and mastery of their businesses in order to actually make profit, use the digital world.
The workshop that saw different models of business presentations by the different trainers left no stone unturned, especially in the domain of business taxation types used in Cameroon.
In the second module, we did look at taxation as a business. We look at the requirements for taxes, the different tax systems, the 3 different tax systems we have in Cameroon. And as business owners, as potential business persons, the participants could understand which tax system they actually belong to, and the requirements of this tax system, what they are expected to be doing monthly, yearly, daily.
To some participants present at the workshop in different business fields, their expectations as to develop world business plans and execution is what they can boast of.
For coming here, I didn't know how to operate the cooperative because naturally it's a new cooperative. So by being here and learning on the things, I've known that through by registry, giving the names of members of the cooperative, I will know better.
So with this workshop, I know as I come to the workshop here, I don't stand learn so many things I need to ever know about business. So from today, I know say the business will grow more than ever before. Because around there, how to manage the business, how to pay my taxes in the business.
It should be noted that the Dennis and Lenora Ferretia Foundation has been carrying out this exercise in other regions of Cameroon, like the Littoral Center, Northwest, West, and the South region.
We stay on to community report, and this time around we take you to the Mile 14 neighborhood of Buea, where the Way Foundation, a non-profit organization, is conducting free screening for hepatitis B and other tropical diseases that are common in the country, Cameroon. The non-profit organization has been conducting this set screening of hepatitis B and other such diseases in order to make sure that they provide quality health to all, which is one of their core values. As our reporter tells us more.
The people of my 14th Banda in Fako division of the Southwest region woke up this 25th October 2023 to welcome the humanitarian team of the Way Foundation, a non-governmental organization with the core aim of providing quality health to all.
The Way Foundation is a non-profit organization created to increase access to high-quality health services in underserved communities like ours in Cameroon. Most of our communities in Cameroon do have very limited access to healthcare, and we found out that most of our folks do not seek preventive health services, and even when people are sick, they try to cater for themselves at home and do not seek prompt healthcare services. So instead of waiting for the people to go to the hospitals, we are in our own little way taking the hospital to the people. Come to my 14, we heard there were a lot of internally displaced persons in my 14, and the young girls especially are at a disadvantage and would benefit from our services. So that's why we are here to serve the community.
With love, empathy, and compassion being the core values of the Way Foundation, the organization that has conducted a similar exercise in the town of Boya and her environs remains committed in this focus in ensuring quality health to everyone that lives on planet Earth, and Cameroon in particular.
We now take you to news out of the country, where in Somalia, journalists are decrying the killing of one of theirs who was killed in a bomb blast by militants over there, the terrorist group over there in Somalia, in the East African nation, as they say they cannot carry out the practice of journalism free and fair in that part of East Africa. As our reporter tells us more.
A 33-year-old journalist who was the director of the Somali cable TV was killed in an explosion at a restaurant in the capital city of Somali at around 9 p.m. on Monday the 16th, 2023. The armed force has confirmed that the attack was perpetrated by members of militant group Al-Shabaab. The bombing has taken the lives of so many innocent Somalians and others injured as they were relaxing after a long and stressful day at work in the Blue Sky restaurant in Bonhead district in Somalia.